You are listening to Freshly Squeezed.
Each time you're sort of bearing your soul a little bit, and there is a chance that they might not be that into it.
Just because all we wanted to do was play 4 chords and play as loud as possible, sort of thing, you know what I mean?
For me, it's not about like hitting goals or anything. I just do this just because I can't really do anything else.
I'll do. Normal service is resumed on this episode of Freshly Squeezed as we continue our quest to uncover the very best new music in the UK and beyond. If you didn't check out the last show, it was a little bit of a special, celebrating the release of the Crooks' brand new EP Hypercell with a special track-by-track interview with the lads. To be honest, more like an album than an EP, 7 tracks on the bloody thing, but we go through it track by track. Great conversation. Go and have a listen to it. And the length of that EP, no doubt a testament to the quality and quantity of tunes that the band have coming down the line. When the album comes, when the debut arrives, it's going to be a bit special. Go and check that out, but let's talk about today's business at hand. And that business is 3 brilliant new up-and-coming bands that you are going to love. We're mixing it up this week with a bit of alt rock country. We're going to be hearing from Young Martyrs shortly. It's not the normal indie thing we do, but I really like it. Very wide open, very Americana, very cool. A little bit more along the lines of the usual path we tread on this podcast are the band Idyllic.
I've not lingered between their eyes, hide in the corners, shot in the sides, going in their thoughts before you and me.
Very cool, buzzy Liverpool band, and I'm really enjoying their current music. We'll talk to them in a bit on Freshly Squeezed. Plus, we're going to talk about album number 3 from the brilliant British Birds. Get into that now, because to tell us more about the new record, the new single, and a bit of background on the band themselves, Emma and Bobby from British Birds. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
So the new single, Lie Down with Dogs, Stand Up with Fleas, is out now. It's from the forthcoming album, Murmurate Oscillate, which is your 3rd full-length record. What is the vibe with album number 3? Because number 1 is obviously the debut. Number 2 is the titled difficult second album. How would you categorise the personality of album 3?
I think album 3 is a lot more relaxed. You know, like album 1, you always have all the time in the world to record it. Album 2, you just rush like mad, and you're never quite happy with it. And then album 3, it was good. We're in a good place. The band was good. We'd just come off the back of a load of touring, and the pressure fell off in a lot of ways. So it was just kind of a montage of everything we've been listening to, all the bands we've been touring with, you know, like, we've just taken inspiration and made a record that fit that, really.
Do you kind of feel comfortable in your own skin at this point? I mean, you might have always felt that way, but I guess once you've had a certain level of success and you've released a certain amount of music, you kind of go, right, we can just do what we want now.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of validation in when, you know, people are actually coming to your gigs and you're not like, I don't know, without trying to sound snotty, you know, like people are asking us to do gigs, go on tours. So there's like a comfort in the fact that you know that people want to hear your next record, and especially when we're selling merch at the end of a show, and you know, like people are talking about the tracks, and so yeah, it's nice to know that people actually like the music, and you know, like it's nice making a record with that feeling.
How does it feel to be a band at your stage of where you're at? Because 3 albums is no mean feat. A lot of acts don't get to that point. You've had support from the likes of Six Music, you've sold out good sized venues, like you see, you've got a fan base who are actively waiting for you to release music. Do you kind of find yourself settling where you are, or do you kind of want to go and then, or are you still fighting to kind of get to that next level?
Yeah, I mean, we're desperate to quit our normal jobs, to be honest with you, but I think we're quite far off that point yet. But I just think moving forward, we've still never played in Europe or anything, or outside of England and Scotland or Wales as well. So there's definitely goals that we're working towards.
I mean, of course, we're happy where we are because we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love it. But, you know, it's nice to grow, but personally, for me, it's not about like hitting goals or anything. I just do this just because I can't really do anything else. Yeah, it's a bit like Wayne's World where he's got all those badges on his wall from all the different jobs he's got. That's a bit what my bedroom looks like.
The single itself, you're doing something really interesting with it. You're giving it its own vinyl release, which is a pretty unusual thing in this day and age to put a single out on vinyl. What was it that inspired that decision?
I know Skepwax are big fans of having analogue stuff, and so are we, to be honest with you. Bobby does screen printing, I do the design stuff. So any chance that we can to put our hands to something and like craft something, if you will, tangible, we'll never say no to. And Skepwax, the label, we're definitely on the same page with it. So we got 50 lathe cut pressed sort of thing, and they all have a different British bird engraved in them.
Oh, nice.
Which we found out today. So yeah, pretty cool.
I've got a massive collection as well of cassettes, 7 inches, CD singles. So I've always been a fan of the single. I think it's powerful.
There is something really nice about having something physical, something that you can hold and touch and lick, whatever you want to do with it. From your experience, Bobby, as a collector, how often are you going back to those cassettes, and how often are you going, I'll just listen to it on Spotify?
Oh, every day. I mean,
yeah.
I've got a 4-year-old now that I'm going through my selection. I think we're at Offspring and Sum 41 at the minute. But I'm not quite played in my Dr. Dre NWA collection yet. Not quite there. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at them now. There's a pile of cassettes. Like, one of my favourite things is when I see an artist I like, just grab a whatever little bits of memorabilia. I think it's cool.
The tune itself, you've called a rousing expression of exasperation at our passivity in the face of lame authority, which as a sentence, that feels quite heavy. Hit play, and what you've got is this kind of tune with, it's quirky, it's frenetic, it's got these lovely, rousing, catchy oohs in it. Do you like playing in that space between kind of shade and light?
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard that description anyway of the song.
Oh, is it?
Made me laugh. But yeah, I mean, I always set out with the intentions of writing the next working class hero, and then they all end up spoofing a little bit and becoming something a bit less serious. But yeah, I remember writing the song. I remember bringing it to the practice, and I remember we were like, we need a hook. And I think that's what we get off in it as a band. And I remember Emma just doing it, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, too serious isn't us. So yeah, we've got to kind of mix it up a little bit with the hooks.
I just remembering the first time we played it in Preston, and everyone was chanting the oohs already. So it's always affirming. But yeah, I think our songs, it's like opposite to how songwriters usually approach it, where they want to get like negative feelings out. I think they always start that way and end up quite joyful and uplifting to like sonically, you know, whilst the topics are usually a bit more like erring on the side of serious and tiptoeing around that. But it's a nice mix, I guess.
Yeah, I think like when you write a song at home and you sat on your couch with your acoustic guitar talking about your feelings, and then you think, oh, this is going to break hearts, and then you take it to practice and get a few beers down our necks, and then they turn into something a little bit different. They twist and morph into British birds, essentially.
There's something very northern about that, I think, particularly northwestern. It's like if you look at the big bands from the area's history, like Joy Division and like the Smiths, and it is kind of, it's bleakness, but delivered with a smile, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's a tongue-in-cheek in the humour around here. I think everybody's got a little bit of that, you know, making light of dark situation vibe about them.
Before I let you go, I need to, well, first off, you're called British Birds. What is your knowledge like of birds?
Mine's all right.
Okay.
Mine's all right. But the trouble is, we get to gigs and we get all these proper twitchers coming up to me. And like, I've had a guy just hold up a picture of a bird and said, what's that? And all like, but that's not my forte. My forte is kind of birds of prey. Whereas like, I'm not big on wading birds or, you know, seabirds. But yeah, I'd say it's fair to middling anyway.
I've got to say, I've learnt something, because I never knew from the album title, Murmurate Oscillate, I never knew Murmurate was the noise a group of starlings made. So I've learnt something from this, but I wanted to play a quick game with you. But I want to see if you can identify the bird from the bird call.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, are you ready for this? Right,
Oh.
here's number
Go on.
1. Do you know what that is?
A wood pigeon. Can you play it again?
No, I'm not good with bird song, but I'm gonna say something like, don't think it's a blackbird.
It was a great tit, that one.
Oh,
Right, I'll give you another one. You might spot a theme as we go on. What do you think this is the noise of?
Blue tit.
It's not a blue tit. That's a dick sissy.
Oh, what?
A dick sissy. Okay. I'll give you another one. Can you identify this one?
Warbler.
Not bad. Not far off. It's a fluffy-backed tit babbler, that one. Let me give you one more, see if you can get the final one.
sounded like a pig.
Hairy nose. Nose crumbler.
I wish it was. That is the blue-footed booby.
Right. Oh, yeah.
A little bit more work to be done on the bird noises and identification, but the new tune's sounding great, which is the important thing. We're going to play Lie Down with Dogs, Stand Up with Fleas on Freshly Squeezed. But Bobby, Emma, cheers for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
French wine in fine boy China, eating crackers on a new bed lighter, climbing stairs with someone behind you. It don't feel right. Tax bills in ULEZ, have to drive 'cause the trains are shut. But the roads have 1,000 holes and it don't feel right. Lie down with dogs, soup and scully and scared. Stand up with fleas, they scurry everywhere. La 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 la.
British Birds are one of those bands that are actually pretty new to me, and that's one of my favourite things. You find a new band, a band that you love, and then you find out they've got years of back catalogue to get into, loads of albums. So, yeah, you're a little bit late to the party, but once you get to the party, it's a great party. Links to join the party, and by party I mean just check out the music from their back catalogue, are all in the podcast description. Right, slight musical gear shift now as we welcome Young Martyrs onto the podcast, or Tom from Young Martyrs anyway. How do, Tom?
Hey, Jim, how you doing?
I'm alright, Tar. So I'm talking to you on the release day of your new single, Only You, which is the final single that's going to come from the new album, Might Just Be Enough, which follows in a few weeks. Do you still get the nerves? You've been doing this a few years now. Do you get the nerves when it's time for a new song to reveal itself to the world?
Yeah, absolutely you do. When you start the process of writing and recording and things, you're sort of in a safe zone at that point because anything is possible. You know, no matter how big or small, you could take over the world by the time it comes out. And the closer you get to actually making it live, the minute it's live, then you're sort of stepping into the place where whatever it's going to do is going to happen there, right then. So it's never make or break because you just keep going because you do what you love. But you can't help but have all these hopes and dreams for where your lovely material might get to. So there's always huge nerves about, will anyone like it? Will anyone play it? Will it do as well as the last thing that we released and things? So yeah, I don't think that ever goes away.
What's more nerve-wracking? Is it revealing it to the world, kind of that big release, or is it the kind of, I don't know, when you first play it, where you've written something on your acoustic and you're going to take it into a studio and you play it to the bandmates?
Oh, that's such a great question. I thought you were going to say when you first play it to a live audience. Actually, we love that bit. Playing a new song to a new audience there's no nerves there at all. I really, really love that because by that point we've rehearsed like crazy and it's nice and sharp and you're happy. But playing new material to your bandmates that will never be less nerve-wracking because you sort of think logically, well, they've liked the other stuff that I brought in and we're 3 albums deep at this point, so you should have some confidence that they'll like it. But each time you're sort of bearing your soul a little bit, and there is a chance that they might not be that into it. I think that's probably the toughest part, actually. And if you can get, particularly because the guys in the band, they're all phenomenal musicians and writers themselves. I sort of think if we can get past their litmus test and they're happy, then everyone else is probably going to like it.
As you say, 3 albums deep, Might Just Be Enough is album number 3. We spoke to British Birds earlier in the podcast, and they are also in a similar position, gearing up for the release of album number 3. They said this album was them feeling comfortable in their own skin. So album number 1 is obviously the debut. You spend ages working on it. Album number 2 is the archetypal difficult second album. This is the band feeling more secure in what they're doing, confident in what they're doing. Same for you guys?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the only thing that I think was different for us a little bit was our first album was recorded when we were in and out of lockdown and not able to be in the room together when we were writing it at various points and things. So we had to do a lot of things remotely or taking it in turns to go into a studio without the other band members. And the second album was much more fun. And I think we felt more comfortable that the second album, we felt like this is the best thing we could ever do. And album 3 was, you'd look back at album 2 and go, oh no, we still had some way to go. Like this is it. You learn so much along the way. You've had time to listen to everything you've done before, and even though you might still have a big place in your heart for your previous material, it's so much easier to go, right, yeah, I thought that bit went a bit long, so in the next song, if we've got a solo, maybe we'll do it half as long. Little things like that. You're barely conscious that you're thinking these things, but it all adds up to making something that's a lot more mature, and I think it comes more easily to you. So yeah, this album did feel really comfortable.
With the album title, Might Just Be Enough, it's a little hint at kind of the ethos of the band. You are fundamentally DIY, you're self-funded, you're slogging away, you're hoping for that break. Maybe this LP might just be enough.
Yeah.
What is enough?
We won't stop until we've taken over the world.
Well, that's it. There's levels, isn't there? And like sometimes you can go, well, we really. At some point, I'm sure you had a conversation where you went, we want to release an album, and then you do that, and then you want to play a venue, and then you do that, and you want to play a festival. It's kind of like the goalpost always moves that little bit further away.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Jim. I think as people who creating something and putting it out into the world, there's various versions of enough. I mean, the greatest version of enough would be, given that there's some of the band have still got jobs outside of music, the ultimate goal would be to be making enough money out of our gigs and our merch and our streams and all the things that bands do, that everybody can just leave their jobs and we just go around the world as 4 mates together making all this music all the time. That would be the ultimate enough. But right now, it would just be amazing if wherever we go, when we're playing festivals and things like that, if there's people we've never seen before who are singing along because they've already heard the songs, that would be, even if it's only a handful of people, that would be, and we've started to get that, and it is the most magical feeling. Last year when we were doing festivals and there was people singing along and we didn't recognize these people, and it was like, oh, it's happening. So if we could have some more of that right now, that would be enough. But you always want more, of course you do.
Let's talk briefly about the new tune, which we're going to play on Freshly Squeezed. It's called Only You. It's a love song, but it's a love song that keeps it real. This isn't saccharine sweet. Is that the kind of view that you can only take when you've got a few years under your belt, a bit of experience? You kind of understand how this stuff actually works.
Yeah, I mean, that's, it's a good point. I'm an old romantic, and listening to the songs that the other boys in the band have written, either in this band or in previous projects, maybe it takes an element of romance to write songs. You always there's an element of romance in all the stuff that you create, and I really wanted to write a love song for somebody, and I just felt like I can't get behind this if it isn't real. And what is real to me? And I just thought about, my own life experience, and it's all the ways that you try hard to get it right, but it's the promises you make. Some of them you break, some of them you keep. It's the acceptance of each other and the patience that it takes, and the immense, exciting love. It's all the stuff. It's all the electric stuff, but it's also the hard stuff and the having to stay in the game even when it's really tough. And that's the only way it can be real to me. I can't get behind this if it's just a sugary sweet, like you said, saccharine sweet. If it's that, then that's not real to me.
If you've written it for a specific person, I guess the big question is, and you don't have to tell me what the purpose was, but Did it fulfill the purpose, whether it was a makeup or a new relationship or whatever? Did it do the job?
Absolutely, it absolutely did. It did, and in fact, and I'll tell you, it was inspired by my wife, Cara Lee Ford, and she, funnily enough, when I was writing it, she came into the room and she said, "Is that yours?" And I said, "Yeah," and I didn't tell her what I was writing at the time. And she said, "It's amazing," but she said, "In the second verse, what if it went?" And she gave me a line for the song. And
She wrote her own love song.
She doesn't do music or anything, but she just had this idea, and I was like, oh God, that is better actually. And so I changed it, and so she's ended up as she has in a small way, she has a little writing credit on the album, which is a really nice way to tie it all in together.
You mentioned a minute ago your previous projects, and you used to be in a band called Centerfolds pre Young Martyrs, and you said during that transition that a lot of the songs that you had, or a few of the songs that you had, were kind of hangovers from that previous project, but they didn't quite fit because that was quite electronic. This is more kind of alt rock country. Are you still able to kind of mine those ideas and look back through those notes, or is that well run completely dry now and you're having to start again with everything?
No, definitely. We actually, Centerfolds was a really big thing for us. The band existed in one form or another for about 13 years, and we went through a lot together. And unfortunately, we're all best friends, and one of our party passed away, Alex, our bassist and best mate, and it had a massive effect on us, and we never really totally recovered from that. But when a bit of time had passed, and I thought that the music that we were making, I'm proud of it, but it's not necessarily what I want to be making for the rest of time. And it was really difficult to say goodbye to that project and bring it to a close after all that time. But it was the right thing to do. When we moved on, I didn't think we'd ever look back at the music that we've made. I didn't think that it was a place I wanted to go to again. But Rich, who was eventually became the bassist in Centerfolds, he came into Young Martyrs. And a few years later, for album number 3, we are joined now by Phil Smith, who was my co-writer in Centerfolds. We led all of that together for the last decade, really. And the other day we had a bit of a let's go through all the old notes of things that never got finished for Centerfolds. And there is a lot of stuff that I really like. It would sound different done with this band to how it used to, but there's some great, I think there's some great writing in there that we could definitely make use of. And we're already part way into writing album number 4. So at this point, we're sort of into albums 4 and 5. We're excited to get on with it. But first of all, we must do our best to share this album 3 with everyone.
Tom, really nice to speak to you. Good luck with the album, Might Just Be Enough, which is out very soon. And we're going to play the brand new single, Only You, on Freshly Squeezed. But cheers for coming on.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
You said that we could be angels. Said that we could be gods. Said that we could be happy. To hell with the odds. I left myself wide open. Said I had so much to give. Said you were willing to die for this. Are you willing to live? Because it's only you. It's only you. Because you've been the hardest, the wildest, the brightest. It's only you. My love for you is an ocean, a world without end. I heard you promise over and over and over again. You said that we could be lovers until eternity fades. I didn't wanna believe it, but I fell anyway. Because it's only you. It's only you. Because you've been the hardest, the wildest, the brightest. It's only you. You said we'll be alright if we can get this straight. That we can work it out if we can communicate. We'll build a whole new life. You said it's not too late, but we have to try. I wanna see you try. I wanna keep your secrets.
Again, another band, Young Martyrs, with a really healthy back catalogue of music to get stuck into. Loads in the past from them, and it sounds, from what Tom was saying, a load coming in the future as well. Final act we're featuring this week have slightly less heritage than the two bands we featured so far. They're both onto album number 3. This lot haven't even got the debut out the way yet, but they are creating a bit of a buzz around their home city of Liverpool. Some glowing reviews of their tunes to date, and it's time to talk to Niall and Ben from Idyllic. Welcome to Freshly Squeezed, boys.
Hello, cheers for having us.
Cheers for coming on. So, new tune Side Eye is out now, but before we get into what you're doing in 2026, I want to rewind to 2022, which would have been the very start of the band. Is that right?
Yes, you are right, yeah.
So I found an advert online for you guys when you were looking for a drummer, and it read like this. It said, "We are a 60s psychedelic inspired group. Rehearsals are multiple times a week, and complete commitment is a must. Our aim is to be signed by the end of the summer. We're looking for one final member to join us to do it with us." How did that go, first off? Did that advert result in you getting the drummer and completing the group?
Yeah,
It did, yeah.
Wow, that is, you really...
I remember right. Wow.
Yeah, so I think that was our original drummer. So we had an actual drummer called Max. He's been my mate since college, but he left because of commitment issues, basically. Like, he weren't practicing as much as we got to practice. So.
Is that where the full commitment is a must thing came from?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It got to the point
We
where...
don't want
just
another
too
Max.
tired. Yeah. So, yeah, and then we luckily found Joe from that advert. We cracked on, and then, believe it or not, he left because of commitment. now we've got a lad called Harry. And yeah, we would have liked to have been signed as early as 22, but that took a year or so more. But yeah, we're here now.
Got there in the end.
Yeah.
When you look back at that advert and that period of time for the band when you just started playing live gigs and you were just kind of finding your feet and getting what is now your final group together, how do you feel about that journey you've had between now and then, and how far you've come compared to your dreams and aspirations at that point?
It seems a lot further in our heads than just that amount of time. You think you break it down gig by gig, week by week, month by month, it feels like a lifetime ago that we were playing with Max. So we were playing like how we were at that point with the songs we had and our ability as well. So we improved a lot. It seems like a lot longer ago than like 3 or 4 years.
And the whole journey of it, you enjoy every minute of it. You know what I mean? Like every point along those 4 years, at every moment, you've always thought like, "This is amazing," and like
we're almost there.
Yeah. But the aspirations haven't changed at all. We work a lot harder than I'd say, and we did back then. We've got, like Niall said, we've gotten a lot better. We got signed at the beginning of this year, and we're just going to kick on from there, really.
Musically, how do you think you've moved forward, other than just getting better? Because that description I read, I don't think quite matches what you're doing now. And I think particularly with the new single Side Eye, when you listen to it, it feels to me that it's in a slight different direction to maybe what's come before. Whereas before, maybe lent into kind of a bit of a classic rock sound. It feels like you've moved away from that slightly with the new tune.
Yeah, I just suppose as like 4 years, we were 22, and now we're 26. And as you get older, your influences change and you mature, and so does your taste in music, I suppose. So back then, all we really wanted to do was play rock and roll. You know what I mean? Play as loud as we can to as many people as we can. But now, like I said, like your influences mature, and we listen to a lot wider spectrum of music, and we always try and incorporate that. It's like you mentioned Side Eye. There's no chorus on it, and the middle eight is like an offbeat halftime reggae sort of thing. We never would have done that in 2022, just because all we wanted to do was play 4 chords and play as loud as possible, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I think the past 6 months we've definitely solidified who we are as a band and what musical direction we want to go in. We still take from that 60s rock and roll stuff, but we mix it in with Motown and reggae and soul and northern soul a lot more than just everything else is rubbish other than rock and roll, which we thought when we were 2021.
I think it feels like you're leaning more into the sound of the city a little bit as well, the sound of Liverpool, which might be that kind of melting pot of the Northern Soul and the Motown and all the things you talk about there. But what's it like being a new band, an emerging band in Liverpool at the moment? Because it's one of the areas of the UK that is churning out the best new music and the best emerging artists. But I guess that can go one or two ways. On one side, rising tide can rise all ships and all that kind of thing. But on the other, it can become more of a challenge to get heard, as there's so much competition for attention. How have you found that?
I think the best part about it is that everyone in the industry and everyone in the local scene is just so sound. Like everyone gets along with everyone, and because Liverpool's not a big city, like it's obviously big compared to some places, but it's not big compared to Manchester or London. So everyone knows each other. Everyone plays the same venues. Everyone shops at the same record stores. Everyone goes to the same pub, and there's a real sense of community and sort of pushing each other up. Whereas maybe with other places in bigger cities is a bit more competitive between bands, and there's a bit of a rivalry sort of thing, which the rivalry is good. It pushes each band to do better, but in Liverpool, everyone just supports each other. There's none of that, I'm not listening to you because we're better sort of thing.
I want to wrap up by turning on the freshly squeezed AI supercomputer, which is called Mangoes. It helps generate some of the questions for Freshly Squeezed. So hello, Mangoes.
Hello, Jim. Hello, Niall. Hello, Ben. Big fan.
Mangoes is going to generate 100 questions for you to answer as a band. You don't have to do all of them, though. Some are better than others. But if you get asked a bad question, it's completely on you because you get to pick the questions you're going to answer. All right?
Okay.
Okay, so Mangoes, please generate the questions.
Questions generated.
Okay, cool. Give me a number, 1 to 100. Where do you want to go?
Let's go lucky number 10.
Yeah.
Who would you most like to hear perform a cover of new song? Side I.
Anyone in the world. My absolute hero is Paul Weller. So if Paul Weller came out with a cover of Side Eye, that would blow me out.
Oh, it was a great shout.
Especially because the chick rips off the jam anyway.
Is he going to do it in his own style, or is he going? Because the bass line is actually quite Foxton-esque, so you can kind of hear it a bit jammy, can't you?
Yeah, well, like I said, Paul was massively influenced by Motown when he was in the Jam and stuff like that, and we're massively influenced by the same stuff that he was influenced. So that and a bit of We Love Town Called Malice and stuff like that, and it fitted the tune really. But yeah, Paul could do whatever he wanted with the tune; it'd still come out great.
Okay, let's go for another one. Second number.
Go number 26.
Number 26 is...
Who is the most likely band member to say one more take?
I'd probably say you, to be honest. Ben or Harry. Harry's quite meticulous with his drums. If he misses anything by the slightest part, he'll be like, right, that's it, I need to do it again. But I reckon...
I'm sure he'll appreciate the impression with the voice.
Oh, he'll love it. He might as well be here, mate. I'm going to say Harry, yeah. He's so attention to detail and it sounding perfect. He's really got that knack to it.
Okay, one more question, one more number.
Let's go higher. Let's go 81.
What is the most useless talent anyone in the band possesses?
Niall's pretty good at naming random footballers from 2000 to 2010.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
He's played a lot of FIFA growing up. That was a lot.
How does that manifest itself? Like, you're just being in a conversation and you'll kind of blurt out, I don't know, John Terry.
Yeah, we'll be talking about a current football player from United. And you'll be like, oh yeah, well, he's a bit like this player that played for West Brom in 2004. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty useless.
Football Wikipedia. Nice one, boys. Thanks for coming on. Really nice to speak to you and really enjoying the new tune Side Eye. Confession from me is like, when I heard this, I really liked the bass line at the beginning and I was going, what's it sound like? What's it sound like? And it really reminded me of something. And I eventually worked out it's Phil Collins, Can't Hurry Love.
Oh, right. I don't think I've ever heard that tune.
Have you not? You need to check it out. It's kind of got that same groove. The song goes in a completely different direction, but the bass line has got like a definite similar groove to it, but I really like it. Lovely to meet you, and cheers for coming on Freshly Squeezed.
Cheers, mate. All the best. Thanks for having us.
3 bands, 3 tunes, 3 awesome acts to get stuck into and to put onto your regular playlist, and all in one podcast as well. It's just what we do. Uncover acts that could go on to be your next favourite band. If you like the sound of that, if you enjoyed this podcast, hit follow wherever you're listening and you'll never miss an episode, which means you'll never miss a weekly dose of brand new music to get stuck into. Once you've hit that follow button, you'll get a little nudge in your podcast app of choice whenever there's something new to listen to. You're not forced to, just a notification. Lovely stuff. You go and do that, and I'll get on with my life. See you next time. Cheers for your ears.
The award-winning Freshly Squeezed, a new music podcast, was devised, produced and hosted by Jim Salveson. Sound design and production by Ant McGinley. Theme music, Blue Blazer, is written and produced by Spin Class. Stop.